Good evening to each and everyone gathered here. For today's Q&A event, we have with us our CIO, Mr. Sunil Damania, where you can ask all your doubts related to stocks, future outlook of the sector, market outlook. Please drop your query below in the chat box and the panelists would answer them. Over to you, Mr. Sunil.
Okay, thanks a lot, Adrian, and very warm welcome all of you. I think the latest news is that IMF has cut India's GDP growth to 5.9%. And one of the reasons why they are saying is that global financial crisis could result into a lower growth. So I think there are a couple of things which we must all understand what's happening globally. And if any customer there from US, please correct me if I'm going wrong. Now, if you look at the commercial real estate in the US is basically facing a lot of pricing pressure. It's coming down, and there could be another problem that the banking and financial sector could be lurking into in terms of a problem. It's a potential area of concern in the US. Number two, the mark-to-market losses running into about 500 to 600 billion US dollar in the US. Why? Because banks are holding what happened with SVB. Where the bank collapsed, but something similar is happening with that. So I think that's another worry that's emanating in the financial world. In fact, how many investors now talk about SVB as a crisis? In fact, people don't remember. They don't ask questions nowadays to me. It's only 1 month, and look at the human memory. No one more talks about SVB. एक महीने पहले SVB was hogging the limelight. Today, no one talks about that. So I think that's another thing. There are a couple of things which are lined up. One is that tomorrow, the inflation is expected in the US. And the belief is that, or the expectation is that inflation would be at 5.2% for the month of March, which declares in the April, as compared to 6% which was there in Feb. So it has come down. But somehow the core inflation likely to remain at an elevated level, and we need to see something similar. I think the one factor that seems to be continues to make inflation more stickiness is a service side of the data point. And that will, so we'll need to wait and watch the data that as and when comes in. Tomorrow I'm doing a very interesting webinar, and that webinar is about the monsoon and the market. If there is an expectation, there are two differing views that's come up. SkyMed believes that weather would be, this time the monsoon would be below average. IMD believes it will be above average. So I'm going to discuss about how seriously you should look at SkyMed. Whom should you believe between SkyMed and IMD? Number one. Number two, what happens when there is a deficit monsoon? How much GDP gets impacted? What kind of returns happens to the equity market, and so on and so forth? It's going to be a very interesting webinar tomorrow. So I would request everyone to please join for tomorrow's webinar. Before I begin, just a small disclaimer that this webinar is only for an education purpose. Whenever you invest in the equity market, it does carry a little higher amount of risk, and past performance is no indicator for the future returns. That's one. Second thing, some of you people had asked me, yesterday someone asked me, and I had promised that I'll come with the data. Someone yesterday asked me, in my equity outlook presentation, I said that if there are no instances available that market has continuously declined 5 months in a row, the maximum has happened 4th month in a row, and it reversed the next month. Then someone asked me yesterday, what happens after the 6th month? So I compiled the data. There are only two instances, that is June to September, where 4 months in a row, the the index declined, and the next month it moved up by 6.3%. The 6th month, it further got extended and 10% higher. That's very substantial high, am I right? And in November to Feb 2016, again 4 months in a row, the next month it moved up by 10.2, and it did sustain in the April 2016 with another 1% gain. So in both the cases, the historical trend suggests that it has sustained. I'm not saying it's going to sustain or not, okay? I'm just giving the data someone asked me, so I'm putting the data in front of you. What has happened, fortunately, like you people have been asking question that FIs are selling, is there a cause of concern? And I think somewhere what they sold in the month of Jan, they sold in the month of Feb, but much, much lesser. In the month of March, they were positive purely because of Adani Group getting a lot of investment. But in the month of April, in first 10-11 days, they already pumped in 6,000 crore, almost 5,500 crore to the. So FIs have turned constructively positive on the India's growth story. And I think that's one of the good comfort factor, because we are now, having said that, we do expect market to remain volatile. Why? Tomorrow, inflation data, because that will give some sense. Of course, tomorrow, the FOMC minutes of the meeting would also get published. So we'll get an idea, the thought process within FOMC, what is there? The monsoon related factor, the global growth, and if any development that happens on the commercial real estate side, that could be on the US I'm talking about, not the Indian market, market would be watching very, very closely. So I think the parameters, the factors that's going to impact the sentiments are all there. Of course, there is no point of time in the market you will not have data points, am I right? But this time some of the data points looks more prominent that could impact the sentiment either way, positive or negative, very significantly. Before I hand it over to again for picking up questions, I have a humble request. Kindly do not post the question that has already been answered, because it will bore other people if I try to answer again, because it's a repetition. So I'm afraid again would not be able to pick up those questions which has already been answered. I don't want Adrian's screen to become a Bloomberg screen, So my request to all of you, please do not repost the question again and again. Adrian will pick up question on a first in, first out basis, and your question will get picked up. And last but not the least is a third point. The score on each and every company is available on the MarketsMojo website. When you ask me a question, I do understand that you want my personal opinion. Sometimes my personal opinion, sometimes, not always, may differ from the MarketsMojo opinion score. Since I'm a human being, and hence I do have a human bias, go with the MarketsMojo score. You should always take my recommendation with the pinch of salt. And I'll just give you my point of view. Am I right? But don't write back to us and saying that, Sunil is so and so, but the website scored so and so. With this, let us open the floor for question and answer.
The first question is from Mr. Ina Chandrakant Rao. Can you please give your view on SAIL, HAL and BAIL?
So, I'm giving you HL definitely yes. BL should do very well for the very simple reason we have an election coming in. Am I right? General election and state election, and that's where the demand for the EVM will also go up. So right now, BL is a sale in our system. I would prefer to hold in case if you already bought it. HL is no brainer. You should definitely buy. And SAIL, my personal view is that right now stay away. Don't be in a rush to buy. Let's wait for the quarterly data that company declares, and then maybe you can take a call.
The next question is from Mr. Surendra. Hi Sunil, how long do you think this bull rally will continue and what's your view on the same?
Surendra ji, I don't think we should call it a bull rally. Basically, it's just few days, am I right? So don't. Sometimes that's a human bias, human tendency, suffering from recency bias. Today we were having a meeting, and I was asking a question about Bajaj Finance, what return Bajaj Finance gave, and someone said positive. It was negative 20%. I said, has it outperformed for 2 years period? And the answer is no, it has not outperformed. But human belief or the mindset would be yes, it must have outperformed. So the point I wish to tell you is that we are not still in a bull market. I think market has to really move up substantially to call it as a bull rally. I think we are still. I do expect market to remain choppy purely because of the news flow. Well, no one has a clear-cut handle on what's going to be the news flow, and my worry continues to remain from the financial world. Why? Because of the financial sector, not financial world, financial sector. Why? Because of there are too many unknowns in the system which can come and could spook the sentiment at any point of time.
The next question is from Mr. Ganesh. Which are the top 3 sectors that you think will outperform during this financial year?
So Ganeshji, we have been little consistent in our thought process. If you remember, we did our webinar on the 1st Jan 2023 and we suggested few sectors. One sector definitely infra and capital goods, for the very simple reason Government of India is going to spend a huge money and those money will get not only is budgeted, it's going to get spent. Why? Because government want to showcase those projects live and running on the ground because that can pay them as some kind of a political dividend. Second thing, the input cost of some of the capital goods and infra companies have come down, and that's another soothing factor for them. So we believe capital goods and infra should do well. Our sense is that pharma should outperform. Why? Because the pricing pressure that was there in generic in 2022 has started abating, and that's a really good way to look at it. Number one. Number two, if you look at the formulation, domestic formulation business also growing handsomely. So that's another reason, and the valuation of some of the pharmaceutical companies have become so reasonable, it makes a lot of sense to get into. The pharma is another sector we believe. And number three, IT. So despite there are challenges that we have seen because of BFSI segment, and Indian IT companies do get a lot of revenue from that. So that's a negative side. But the positive side is that attrition rate have started coming down. It will further come down as and when the numbers start rolling in from the IT sector. So we believe that should also do. So these are 3 top sectors we believe should do reasonably well going forward.
The next question is from Mr. Rupesh. Your view on Saxoft software, and can Saxoft have multi-bagger kind of potential and IT sector in the next 1 year?
So I did give Rupeshji my view on IT sector for 1 year. So that's, I think you got that answer. Saxoft, please continue to hold. So it's only in a hindsight someone's gets a multi-bagger or not. So I would not like to use word multi-bagger at this point of time, but we do believe it can give a decent returns to the investors. So please continue to hold Saxoft.
The next question is from Mr. Ashwin. Dear sir, does rain forecast impact the market sentiment?
It does impact the market sentiment, and I'll tell you tomorrow a very detailed analysis on. I would request all of you to please attend this webinar very religiously. Rain forecast, I'm going to discuss about what has been the rain forecast of SkyMet, IMD, when they predicted, what happened to that, what kind of impact it could have.
Sunil, your views on the same. US stocks closed mixed to start the week, with the Dow ending higher and the Nasdaq lower. Investors are increasingly baking in another interest rate increase from the Fed following Friday's payroll report.
So, sir, as I said in my beginning of this webinar, I did mention that tomorrow we'll get a handle on the inflation. And I think that will be very, very critical to understand whether we should expect more rate hike or not. So let's wait for it. I know what you are referring to, Friday payroll, but we need to, I think, wait and watch what happens to the inflation. We must also remember if you, everyone thought that in the month of March, Fed would do 50 bips rate hike. Am I right? And then suddenly SVB crisis came up. And then the market view completely changed, and then people started talking about 25 bips or no rate hike at all. So I think still there's a lot of time, sir. There are a lot of other events that will play out, and then we will need to look at it, what happens at that point of time. So I think it's too little early, but tomorrow is a very critical. Why I'm saying critical? Because tomorrow the CPI data will come, and that will really give an idea.
The next question is from Mr. Bangaria. Sunil ji, today ABB India share value went down by 4% following the Kotak institutional equity downgrading the stock. What is your view? Should I hold or should I sell?
Continue to hold. Nothing to basically get worried about it. I know it's down. See, 1 or 2 days movement, we do get little panic. We don't know how to do that. Relax. I think we will see upward movement also. So nothing to worry at all.
The next question is from Mr. Akshay Raj. Sir, PE or other ratios are not matching between the MarketsMojo and Zerodha. What's wrong in that?
So please give us some few examples, so maybe I will be able to comment in a very meaningful manner. I don't know what Zerodha does, what ratio they are showing. We are very confident our ratio is right. There is nothing wrong with that. So if you can give me an example of a company, I'll explain you how it has been calculated. It should tally. The P ratio is something very simple. So I don't know why it should not tally.
The next question is from Mr. Ram. A few days back, MarketsMojo advised sell off HAL shares, and now it is a Mojo stock. Isn't it strange?
So I think this question came yesterday also, and again I'm repeat for the benefit of everyone. We may have exited from HL purely. We have not exited from the master list. Maybe it's only a profit booking call that may have taken place. Based on a purchase price, we would have locked in some of the profits. That's the only reason. So please share again my request to you, please jot down the email ID of this customer. Please share it to the Uday and already ask him to look into this. We'll come back to you, sir, why it has been. If it is a profit booking, then I don't think we need further explanation. But if it is not so, I'll come back to you, sir.
The next question is from Ms. Vaishali. How model portfolio is different than mutual fund, as there is no difference in returns? What is your view on Indian Toner?
Indian Toner is a micro cap. So let me handle the last question first. It's a micro cap company. You can continue to hold. It's done extremely well in last 1 month or so. So please continue to hold. Vaishali ji, model portfolio different from mutual fund. I think what we have observed based on the back testing is that our model portfolio tends to give higher returns over a 3 to 5 year spread as compared to the model portfolio, as compared to the mutual fund. So we are able to generate alpha over the benchmark. If you look at the mutual fund, there have been study done by Spiva, and they came out with this report saying that over a longer period of time, most of the mutual fund underperforms. Am I right? So I think if you want alpha, you should follow. Probability is very high that you will create alpha on our model portfolio, and there is a low probability that your mutual fund portfolio will create alpha. So that's a huge difference between whether you want alpha. Probability is very high that model portfolio will do that. If you don't want alpha, then continue with your mutual fund.
The next question is from Mr. Rohit. The crypto price today, Bitcoin rises about $30,100. Solana, Litecoin zoom up by 10%. What do you think could be the future prospect? Will it touch the $80,000 mark by year end as predicted?
Sir, I don't think I've ever predicted crypto I'm not an expert on crypto, so please take my comments with tons of salt, not pinch of salt, tons of salt. You are right, the price of, so I think what does it indicate? It does indicate risk on strategy in the market. And what we have observed that whenever there is a risk on strategy, the growth related company does extremely well. So my sense is that I don't know what would happen to the Bitcoin prices. Will it go to 80,000 or does it go to 20,000? I'm not an expert. Will I put my money in a Bitcoin? The answer is no. It's extremely a volatile assets class which doesn't give me a comfort level. So I will never ever put that.
The next question is from Mr. Gautam. Manappuram Finance Limited, a part of the NBFC space, hit a fresh 52-week high in April 2023, and the technical setup suggests that there is upside, may not be over yet. Share your views, Sunil. Many analysts are suggesting this stock as a strong buy.
So, Manappuram, we do own this company in our Infinity portfolio also. It's a buy in our system. You can definitely continue. I think when the price goes up, it does improve the loan to value ratio for play like Manappuram Finance, which has a very strong presence in gold, and of course they are diversifying into other to de-risk their strategy from the gold, because gold seems to be a little more overcrowded now because banks have come up and other things. So it has become overcrowded. Right now it's a buy. You can continue to hold.
The next question is from Mr. Tushar. The Indian monsoon El Nino conditions likely to develop during monsoon season. Impact may be felt in the second half, says IMD. Can you please enlighten us about the same?
Definitely, sir. As I told you, tomorrow the exclusive webinar is on the monsoon and the market. Okay. So please come and attend my webinar tomorrow. Sir, I understand that you may want to know it. Just wait for 24 hours. And I'm going to make a very detailed presentation on the monsoon and the market. Please wait, sir.
The next question is from Mr. Ellen Subhash. Sunil ji, what is your opinion of two stocks, Ingersoll Rand and ZV Commercials?
So, ZD Commercial, I think we have, it's a Mojo stock, or it's a stock of the month also. So please continue to hold that. We do believe that it should do very well. Ingersoll Rand, I think it's a buy with a score of 77. It's a Mojo stock. Please continue that also.
The next question is from Mr. Suhas. Good evening, Sunil sir. My question is on SME segment stocks. One, is it worth buying certain stocks from the SME segment like Dronacharya, Ariel or PNG Gargi Collections? Can such stocks have a place in MarketsMojo? Second point, whether these stocks would be shifted to main BSE after 2 years, subject to fulfillment of certain basic regulation, so that one can buy even one share. Currently, they are available in one lot of minimum 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 shares. Please share your opinion.
Sir, I don't invest in the SME stock. Why? Number one, there is a liquidity criteria, and number two, you don't know the track record of the promoters. Why? Because they've hardly come, whether they were, how good they are in terms of managing their what we call downside, we don't know. And some of these companies have also been little overhyped, I don't want to name but some of the companies like Dronacharya, if I distinctly recollect, one big investor invested in that company, and then a lot of investors tried to follow that. Would you be surprised to know that the same company is down by almost 40% in the last 3 months? So you get an idea what happened to that. So I don't get comfort level. The risk versus return, definitely not in the favor of return. And this kind of risk, I wouldn't like to do it. I would rather, invest in a company where I understand the business and so on and so forth. These are the business I don't really understand, to be very frank with you. So that was one part of the question. What was the second part of the question? Will they become move to large cap if they satisfy the condition? They can. Not all is going to become. Okay, there are not very few have basically graduated to the large cap. Not all have graduated to large cap. And as and when they become large cap, or move to the main segment. Sorry, as and when they move to the main segment, you can think about it. So my answer to you: you should never buy a company in anticipation it's going to go to the main segment of the exchanges. That should never be the reason why you should buy. Because वो होगा नहीं होगा किसको नहीं पता. And 2 years is too long a period, especially for the SME segment. So, but SME as a segment, I would never be comfortable investing. If at all I have to put, I'll put maybe 2 or 3% of my total capital into those kind of a segment. चला तो ठीक है, नहीं गया तो पैसा गया. That's the kind of philosophy I will keep it.
The next question is from Mr. C.I. Gandhi. Can you inform which pharma company you expect to increase in the coming year?
So go with our score of the company. I would request you to do that because that's the best way you can see. So we do have a filters. Use our screener on the pharma, and then you can pick and choose. I don't want to become a stock recommendation here because sometimes different people have a different time horizon and creates a confusion in the investor's mind. So go with our score. The best, highest score if in pharma is the best company to invest. Let me put it this way.
The next question is from Mr. Puneet. Hi Sunil ji, your views on Voltas, please.
So, this summer is going to be very, very bad. Let me tell you, if you remember, some of the governments have come out with the working hours differently. Some schools in some other states have moved from afternoon to morning because heat could be little severe. So my sense is that this time there would be heat waves that would call for a more demand for the air conditioning. As I was saying about the sector, capital goods and infra, that should do well. Voltas should also get the benefit of that. So the situation looks little promising for a company like Voltas. The only thing is that they have not been able to show consistency in their performance. So I think I would wait for that. In fact, they will also get the benefit of lower input cost. Why? Because some of the input cost that goes into manufacturing of ACs have come down. So the companies will also increase. Let's be very frank with you. So right now our score says sell. So if I am holding Voltas in my personal portfolio, which I am not holding, but I am giving an example, I would not make an exit. I would rather prefer to hold and see how this company has been able to do on the AC segment during the summertime and also the capital goods segment. So I would rather wait for one more quarter, the numbers to come before making an exit.
The next question is from Mr. Vijay K. Is there any reason why business details of a company is not available on the MarketsMojo site? I think it will be useful to have business details of a company, such as company product, dependencies of a company, client details, because it helps to exit and enter the stock with confidence. By the way, happy to see you explain the current scenario. Sometimes it is really humorous.
Thank you, sir. I don't know what you find it very humorous, but thanks a lot. I'll take the compliment. So your point is taken. We do have a company CV on our website that does give you a lot of idea about what company does. We do have a research report on the company which has a lot of other data points. In terms of company products and dependency of company and client details, so not all companies declare that data. And we are a tech-driven company where we need to, maybe 100, 150 companies out of 4,000 companies will be declaring that data. Not all companies would be declaring that data. So and it becomes extremely difficult to then fill up those details on our website. So, but anyway, your point taken, Vijayji. I'll definitely discuss with my product team, see what best we can do about it.
The next question is from Mr. Sandeep P. Good evening, Sunil. Would you recommend entering Quant small cap fund at this point?
So we do rate mutual funds now on our website and go with that. I don't invest a single rupee on a mutual fund. Why? Because I normally believe that I can do better job as compared to any fund manager. I'm not trying to be proud or boasting about me, but that's what I've always observed in my historical returns. So I rather prefer myself. I invest in myself or my strategy rather than investing in someone. But as far as quant small cap, if you want, I can just figure it out from the website what it says. So let me go to mutual fund section, explore mutual fund, and it says quant small cap, right? Quant. It says buy in our system. You can definitely go and buy, Sir Sandeep ji. It says buy in our system.
The next question is from Mr. Praful Gala. Hello Sunil ji. Last year the experts were saying that India is overvalued and that is the reason FIIs are not investing. But after the ongoing correction, we are close to historic average valuations. Has China opening up taken FIIs to Chinese market, and what is stopping them to come back to the Indian market?
So Prafulji, I think the data which I presented in my one slide, which says that FIIs they were net positive in the month of March, they are net positive in the month of April, and कुछ 11 दिन हुआ अप्रैल का तो 10 दिन का ही डेटा है. So they would come back. Only the reason. So normally, what I was talking to one guy from the broking industry who basically deal with the FIIs only, and he was saying that every year in the beginning of the year, FII get excited about the Chinese market, and then they realize that the excitement was a little wrong, and then they start withdrawing from the Chinese market and come to the Indian market. So, whatever the outflow that we saw massive in the month of Jan is all because of that, nothing else. And I think, so my sense is that FI will come back very strongly.
The next question is from Mr. Nilesh Mehta. Kindly give views on Tanfact Industry Limited.
Sir, continue to hold if you have in your portfolio, sir.
The next question is from Mr. Satish Prabhu. Respected Sunil sir, what is your opinion on West Coast paper? Can I continue to hold it? Is Q4 result likely to be good? Thanks in advance.
Yes, sir. Please continue to hold West Coast paper. We do expect numbers to be good. So I was looking at some of the report, and that says that the prices of paper have remained very quietly robust. Today also West Coast paper was up by 4%. Please continue to hold West Coast paper. We believe that it should do well. See, the beauty about, sometimes we do get little perturbed by the short term. Can you see my screen? Is it visible? Right. Yeah, to look at West Coast paper. 1 month is outperformed the broader market. 3 months is outperformed the broader market. In 6 months it has not. But if you look at YTD, it has outperformed the market. So yes, it had its own underperformance for quite some time. A lot of you people got lost patience. And we continue to made you believe that please continue to hold, it should do well. It has done well. So my sense is that it should do well. Please continue to hold. Don't be in a rush to move out. The Q4 numbers should be really good for the West Coast paper.
Madhav has mentioned as a suggestion, your information under the company CV is not adequate or time redundant. We expect economic discussion in this space. Please check your inputs carefully on this.
Sir, your CV is not adequate, at time redundant. We expect economic discussion in this space. So we are a tech-driven company. So if you expect us to have manually put this, it will not be practically possible. I'll be very frank with you, sir. But why don't you write to us what exactly you are looking at us? Give some few example of a company where you would have expected in this company so and so information. We will see what best we can do technologically. Of course, Chat GPT has opened up a lot of opportunity for us also in terms of adding a lot of, we can do that. So plus, give your thought process. If it is really implementable, we would definitely love to implement that without any hesitations.
The next question is from Mr. Venu Madhav. I have some shares of JTE KT minus 30% and small cap banks minus 25% of Mojo stock. Should I hold or should I sell it?
So Sir, are you holding this in a personal portfolio or you are holding in the this one? JTKT is a hold in our system as we speak. It's with a score of 64. So maybe you can continue to hold. And I don't know, sir, which small cap bank you are talking about.
The next question is from Mr. Subhash. Sunil ji, what is your opinion on Reddington? Is it the right time to exit?
No, my answer would be no. Please continue to hold. It continues to remain our mojo stock with the buy. Please continue to hold. There is no need to exit from that. Why do you want to exit? Why? Because Apple is setting up a story. That's why. I don't think that's a valid reason to get out of it.
The next question is from Mr. Sham Dasari. Dear Sunil sir, what could be the effect of Neogen Chemical on Exide Industry, which is a stock of the month after their deal with Japan's Mu Ionic Solution Corporation to acquire manufacturing technology license to make lithium-ion batteries in India?
So, sir, I think they are going to make chemicals for the lithium-ion batteries. That's what my understanding on Neogen. Of course, they did yesterday press conference. I did not get a time to be go into detail, but I don't think it's a competing with the Exide. Exide is going to manufacture the lithium-ion battery, and I think Neogen is going to make one of the raw material that goes into manufacture of that. So I think it could supply to the players like Exide Industries. On the contrary, today Exide was up by 2%. So I don't think the market is also looking that as a threat. Had that was the case, the script would have moved down, not moved up.
The next question is from Dr. Garg. Please provide your view on Mahanagar Gas and Torrent Power. Is energy sector good one to buy? Thanks.
So please continue to hold Mahanagar as well as Torrent Power. Is the energy sector good one to buy? Specifically, yes. Few stock specific, yes, but not all.
The next question is from Mr. BP Shah. I have HCL Tech share. I want to sell that and buy MRF.
So why you want to do that? I don't know. Don't do that, sir. I wouldn't recommend that.
The next question is from Mr. Deepak Singla. Sir, can you share your views on M&M?
So I think M&M is lined up a very good set of products in their SUV segment. I think the management is more confident about the future growth. They are going to launch some of the product, including XUV 700 or 900. I'm forgetting that. So my sense is that they do like what is it?
700 is already launched.
So 900. They're launching XUV 900, and they've lined up some of the new products in the SUV segment. So please continue to hold right now, Deepak ji. Don't be in a rush to get out of it.
The next question is from Mr. K.S. Brar. Why is Reflex going up very sharply for last 1 week, up to 20-25%? Is it due to severe summer expectation?
Sir, I don't know. To be very frank, even I don't know whether Reflex has gone up by 20-25%. Sir, I've not tracked this company for quite some time, so I have no idea, sir. Why is it happening, sir? Please pardon me for my lack of knowledge.
The next question is from Mr. Ram Arora. Some stocks you advise sell from the model portfolio, but at the same time you continue with the same stock in the stock of the month. Any reason? Kindly elaborate.
Sir, we may have asked you to book profit in the model portfolio, not the sell advice. Okay. If it is stock of the month, that means it's continue to remain. Sir, can you help me understand which stock of the month which we advise you to sell from the model portfolio, and we have not closed the call on stock of the month? I don't think we would have done that. Unless two reasons. One is that profit booking or other it could be the fall from high criteria getting triggered. दो में से एक ही हो सकता है, but otherwise, but we have not exited from that stock across all the portfolio. See, when we say sell on the model port, that means it would have been exited from each and every portfolio that investors are holding in that across all the portfolio, which is not the in profit booking. And fall from high happens at the portfolio level, and that's only two reasons we would have done that, and we would have said our logic also of that to all of you.
The next question is from Miss Bhargavi Lakshmi. Good evening, Sunil sir. Can a sell-rated stock come into the Infinity Soul portfolio?
Of course, it can come because our IP both are different now. What is there on sale on MarketsMojo is nothing to do with the Infinity portfolio. Infinity has its own logic, its own passcode, and based on that passcode, it doesn't look at what is the score available on the MarketsMojo website. So technically, what you are saying is right, possible, very much possible. Not in all cases, but it's very much possible.
The next question is from Mr. Nanda Kumar. Sterling Tool has a score upward of 70. Is it a good pick as it has been steadily going up in the last 6 months?
Sterling Tool, yes, it's a score with 77. I don't know why you're saying 70, sir. Please go ahead and buy, sir.
The next question is from Mr. Kareem. Sir, can you share your views on Aegis Logistics?
This only thing, just the previous question, Sterling, when I see it, I think in 6 months it's gone up by almost 111%. In last 1 month, it has gone up by 25%. So I wouldn't recommend fresh buy. If you already bought it, you continue to hold. So I'm changing my advice to continue to hold, but no fresh buy is recommended. Aegis Logistics continue to remain invested. I think it should do well.
Sunil, we are done with the Q&A.
So thanks a lot everyone taking time out. Thanks a lot Adrian for hosting this webinar. Tomorrow we have a very interesting webinar lineup, monsoon and the market. So please do come and attend that webinar. A lot of insights you will get, a lot of anxiety of you will get addressed in that webinar. So looking forward to see you all tomorrow. Over to you, Adrian.
Thank you everyone for attending this event. We have tomorrow a webinar scheduled with Sunil, and also a webinar scheduled at 7 p.m. on 13th April with Jason on Ray Dalio's investment strategy, where you can ask all your doubts regarding investment strategy, and he'll also share the ways to discover stocks as per Dalio standards. Please do attend the upcoming webinar as well. Thank you and goodbye.